Hi, I'm Paula with Cascade Water Alliance. Cascade wants you to have a beautiful lawn and garden and save water. Water is precious, and saving it means less cost and more water for the future. Water use in our area increases dramatically in the summer when we use our sprinklers to water our landscapes. We know you want a beautiful lawn and garden, and Cascade wants you to have that while saving water at the same time. Today I'm going to show you how to set a watering schedule for your sprinklers so you can water just the right amount. Are you ready to get started? Great, let's go. The controller is the brain of your sprinkler system. It tells your sprinklers when to come on and how long to run. But most controllers are set to run your sprinklers for too long, and overwatering is one of the main causes of diseased and unhealthy plants. Ideally, you want your sprinklers to make up the difference between the water the plants need and the amount of rainfall that Mother Nature provides. Before you turn on your sprinklers for the season, keep in mind you may not need to water before Memorial Day or after Labor Day. Let the soil be your guide. Take a shovel, dig into the earth, and fill the soil. If there's plenty of moisture, hold off on the watering. There are many types of controllers, but they all do basically the same thing. This is a common model. Please refer to your owner's manual for specifics about your controller. Adjusting your controller may seem intimidating, but setting a watering schedule is a simple three-step process. You set the time the system comes on, the days of the week it operates, and how long the system runs. As an example, let's set a schedule for zones 1 and 2. First, set to program A. Then turn the dial to watering start times. This may be set program time on your controller. Use the arrows or the plus and minus buttons to set the start time. Let's set the start time for 6 a.m. Then turn the dial to auto or run. Imagine that zones 1 and 2 are grassy areas and need to be watered twice weekly. Now turn the dial to select days to water and use the arrows to turn on Monday and Thursday and turn off all other days. Now we need to set the run time for each zone. This is the number of minutes that each zone will be watered. Turn the dial to valve run time or station run time. Each number represents a zone in your landscape, and you're telling the controller how many minutes to water that zone. Let's set zones 1 and 2 to run for 10 minutes. Then turn the dial to auto. Let's say zone 3 is hardy shrubs, which should only be watered once per week, but for perhaps a little longer. You can set a separate schedule for zone 3 by moving the program switch to B and repeating the scheduling steps. So let's set zone 3 shrubs to be watered only on Mondays and for 12 minutes. In program B, it's important to zero out any minutes shown for other zones so you aren't watering the zones twice. Also, set a different start time, say 7 a.m. for program B. Those 3 steps, the start time, the days of the week, and the run time, comprise the basics of setting a watering schedule. Next, we're going to show you a couple of techniques to help you make your watering even more efficient. Cycle and soak is a watering method that prevents runoff and gets water into the plant root zone. It breaks the run time into 2 shorter run times with the pause in between so that water has time to soak into the ground. Cycle and soak works great for zones with heavy clay soils or steep slopes. Let's assume zone 4 is a grassy area on a steep slope. Instead of a 10-minute run time, we're going to set 2 5-minute run times with the pause in between. Set to program C and turn the dial to zone 4. Make sure to zero out any run times in zones 1, 2, and 3 because those are already covered by other programs. Let's set a 5-minute run time and an 8 a.m. start time. Push the advance button and the second start time will appear. Let's set it for 9 a.m. That leaves 55 minutes between the two watering cycles, which is plenty of time for the water from the first cycle to soak in. Then go through the days of the week and turn on only Monday and Thursday, just as we did before. Turn the dial back to auto, and you've finished scheduling cycle and soak for Zone 4. So to review, in Program C, we set 2 5-minute run times with a 55-minute break in between. Cycle and soak is a great way to prevent runoff from problem zones. If you use this method, remember to turn off the run times in the other zones so you're not watering twice. Weather is constantly changing, and so are your plant's water needs. Controllers are often set at the beginning of the season and never adjusted afterwards. Seasonal Adjust allows you to easily increase or decrease the run times to match the changing weather conditions. Let's say we turn our system on in late May and set the schedule for the hottest part of the summer. But it's still May, so let's reduce the run times to 70%. Turn the dial to Seasonal Adjust and use the arrow keys to lower the percentage. Turn the dial back to auto. As the season grows warmer, you can slowly increase the Seasonal Adjust. Start at 70% of your maximum watering needs. Use 80% in June, moving up to 100% by mid-July. After the hottest days of August, start backing off and reduce to 70% around the beginning of September. These percentages will vary depending on the weather. If the summer is cooler and wetter than average, you may never need to change the Seasonal Adjust to 100%. If your controller doesn't have Seasonal Adjust, you can achieve the same results by manually adjusting the run times each month throughout the season. Either way, try to match your watering schedule to the plant needs and the weather. Let's briefly recap what we've covered. There are 3 basic steps of setting a watering schedule: setting the start time, the days of the week, and the run time. Cycle and Soak and Seasonal Adjust can help you manage your sprinklers for maximum efficiency. Watch for changing weather conditions and adjust your watering schedule to match. When in doubt about watering, let the soil be your guide. If the soil is wet, hold off on the watering. I've shown you how to set a schedule, but how often and how long should you set your controller to run? This depends on some important factors, including the weather, plant type, your soil, and how fast your sprinklers apply water. At cascadewater.org, you'll find some tools to help you develop a customized schedule for your landscape. If you use water responsibly, you can have that great yard and save water too. I'm Paula with Cascade Water Alliance. Thanks for watching and happy gardening.